Delirious West 2021. About to take on 340 Ks from Northcliffe to Albany. Let's see how it goes. Delirious West.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
You done?
Alan Foster!
The water here. The wettest winter in 20 years. Makes for some challenging crossings. There you go. Oh, it's getting deeper. I'm 6'1". Head down the legs, nice and refreshing. A bit more of this to come. The big question. What on earth possesses you to do a 200 mile? Well, it's technically a bit more. 200 mile with some change. 337 kilometres from Northcliffe, a small little town in Western Australia, along the Bibbulmun Track to the beautiful Albany. And for me, it's pretty. I think it dates back quite a way, and it's taken me a little while to realise how deep. Many years ago, when I was a 15-year-old and I had a brother figure that used to live down the road, used to catch up with him most days. We used to catch the bus together to school and back and have a look at all our AFL cards and talk about sport and whatnot, and he really was my idol back then and really positive figure for me. And at 17 he was a pretty big prospect. He was quite passionate about his AFL umpiring, and he was likely to go sort of like the AFL level. He was in the Waffle Academy, and and I took up some boundary running. Used to run with him. Which was pretty cool. Like at the age of 13, I think we started that. I'm running the boundary of multiple games, playing footy on another day, and probably started to build up a bit of stamina in the legs. And he was diagnosed with cancer when he was 17, and it was in his leg. He had a tumour, and as a result he basically went through treatment for 2 years. There was a part of that process where they removed the tumour, and they had to cut through a nerve that controlled his foot's capacity to lift its toes up and down. So that meant he couldn't run. He had basically have a plastic wedge that came underneath his foot and it ran up his calf. And that enabled him to sort of walk around, but had a bit of a limp. And he then didn't want to drop out of the scene and wasn't prepared to let that, stop him from reaching his life aspirations. Still going through treatment at this time, and he decided to be a goal umpire. So and he did it quite well. It was amazing to see just how strong his mind was, he was such a mature 17-year-old and just had a real driven focus just to keep on powering and look strong, be strong, and it was just an amazing role model for me to sort of see that as a kid growing up, you know. And along his journey he got to meet some pretty amazing people. Justin Langer and Adam Gilchrist, he was an absolute cricket fanatic, and they were really good to him and took him under his wing and gave him their phone numbers, and you give him a call when times of need, and yeah, it was amazing to see figures that are so well known in the community doing such big things for my mate, and I'm sure that really helped him as well push along. Now I'll never forget, it was the day before Anzac Day. Brett was 19 at the time, or I was now 17, and oh, hang on, check out this. Nice and deep along the shins. So he called up my parents and said he wanted us to come around and tell us something. So we all went round, and my dad and myself went into his bedroom, and this is just how mature he is. And I can distinctly remember this, him laying on his bed, and he actually looked quite good, and he's sitting there and he's told me that he's giving up. The cancer has taken its toll. They've tried everything, spread to his lungs, fatigue is crazy, and just he's gone to war with this cancer, and unfortunately it's he said it's beaten him, and I just was in shock that he'd said that he was giving up. As a 17-year-old, I couldn't really understand that. There we go. But I did know that he'd given it his absolute best, and I really respected that. But yeah, it was very hard hitting, and I was going to lose my I'd say my best mate, and someone that I just thought the world of. So we left that, and I had like a weird feeling that, like, I thought it was really weird that I wasn't upset. I wasn't crying or something like that, but but I definitely had some strong emotions, but it was quite weird that it wasn't being expressed in tears and stuff like that. But so the next day was Anzac Day, and we get a call from his family, and we're advised that Brett's unfortunately passed away. And and I'm still just in a state of shock that, yesterday I'm talking to him and he looks perfectly fine and had the strength to tell us that he couldn't do this anymore, and then the next day he was gone. It was such a crazy thing to experience at that age, and I think a lot of people, you can sort of go two ways from it. You can take a lot of growth from it, or you can be sort of isolated and really sad for a long time about it. And I was just really sparked something in me that I realised that time on this planet, like, you just don't know when it ends, and we just have to be so fortunate that for the time that we've got to make the most of it. And so the next part of this was that Brett was so mature, and he'd actually planned out his funeral and picked his pallbearers, and I was fortunate enough to be one of those. And he the amount of people that came to this funeral was crazy. Like, such a young guy in the community, but he was just such a genuine kid. He'd touched so many hearts and broken the community's hearts, having to come and say goodbye to him. But so I remember we carried him in and we placed him at the front, and there's been some amazing eulogies and memories of Brett in his young days, and then I'm still sitting there and I'm feeling still pretty odd that I've got all these emotions in me and I wasn't really expressing them. And then the coffin rolled away and I just broke down into tears. I was just sobbing, and like, it finally clicked that that was the last time I was going to see my best mate again, my brother figure, my role model. And yeah, it was just crazy that it took so long for it to all come out. But I think when I look back, it really is Brett and the impact he's had on me. And sometimes when I feel like I'm running, I feel like he's looking out for me when things just still seem to fall into place, or I get back on track, or yeah, he's still here with me, and still in touch with his family and have so much time for him. And yeah, it's amazing. Really excited for his sister now, who's having a little one, and yeah, it's good to see everyone happy again. So that is part of the reason why I find myself probably challenging myself beyond, I guess, what most people would think is reasonable. And I've learned that I've got this capacity that a lot of people don't have, or haven't found yet. Probably, I think it's a better way of thinking about it. I do think that anyone can achieve big things if they put the time and energy into it. They just haven't done it yet. So no, I do love that when I do stuff like this, it actually inspires other people to get out and, you know, find their depths, see where their mind can take them and their body. But yeah, I've been very privileged with the opportunities and the life I live so far. Yeah, it's actually interesting. I'm twice the age now, 34, of when Brett left me and left this world. So yeah, it's been a long journey. But this 200 miler will definitely challenge me into new depths. I've never gone 337 kilometres all out before. And again, I'm crazy lucky with the support I've got from my wife and daughter at home, Amelia, and one on the way, which is exciting. And then I've got friends, Adam, Lockie, Claire and Nick coming down to pace, taking time off work just to come down and join me run this ridiculous run. Yeah, it's pretty special. So yeah, I'm digging deep for all these guys, for the ones that can't. Brett, inspire those that can, and for the future, I'd love my daughters to have a similar mentality and be keen to take on the world like I am. Okay, I'll sign out and go and run some more Ks. Yeehaw! Last 5Ks have just been a long river. Nothing snaky about this at all. I've already seen a baby Jew guy, a baby tiger. Actually, they weren't really babies. But yeah, it looks like I've got about another 10Ks of this before I hit Mandalay Beach and some reprieve. So hanging in there, just gone about 90 Ks in, and 9 hours and 41 minutes on the clock, making pretty good time. Had a bit of a lull around 80 Ks, but last aid station and picked up the poles and a bit of a recharge, and yeah, feeling good again. So the aim is to beat the sun down and try and make it too wet and cold. Should have brought my flippers and snorkel, hovercraft. Just about to clock up 100 clicks, big milestone. Get this as a nice little reward. How beautiful was that? Absolutely sensational. Just coming up 11 hours, almost there to Mandalay Beach, which is a big tick for me. Keen to get out of this wet mess before darkness. Shano's just passed through the Tingletop aid station. We're cruising through the forest, still moving real well. About 150 Ks in, only about another 200 Ks to go.
Any words of wisdom for the kids that are watching at home?
Stick to parkrun.
Hey, Mr. Sneaky. Bye. Just a lovely run out on the bib this afternoon.
255. And we're at the top of Monkey Rock and just starting our descent, and it's 9ish o'clock, and Shane's doing an awesome job. Over now. We're heading towards Denmark. It's 10:30ish at night, and he's just got a fresh pair of legs from somewhere after climbing Monkey Rock. I can barely keep up with them. Got anything to add? Got anything to add, Shane?
Huh?
Got anything to add?
I hear there's a warm bed, food, and a hot shower.
There's all of those
Get
things.
me there ASAP.
Over and out.
Perry's Beach. Hey, park run. How many you done? 25?
I don't know. Don't ask me simple math questions.
Any other comments for the blokes at home?
Not really.
Sorry, I'm hitting you with the tough questions here.
Things for people at home.
Yep.
Yeah. Consider your life choices wisely. I'm very lucky. Got an awesome support crew, and the body's hanging in there. Time to get this job done.
Excellent.
It's our final part of crewing and pacing over the last 2 days. So they're coming from there, and they have about 1 kilometre to go to get to there, to the finish line at Lime Burners. And Shane is racing. He is excited to finish 350 Ks and no sleep. And what time?
50 something
50
hours. Yeah, beat the course record by about 7 hours, maybe. Jeez, he's moving. Have a look at this. Coming into the first K. He's got his sprint on.
First K, last K.
Oh, the last K, sorry. He's coming to...
Definitely the
He's
last
got his
K.
sprint on. Wow.
Hurry up!
How's the pace on this guy? 349 Ks in.
5-minute pace.
Woo!
And then with all the weather and mate, those deviations saving, I'd still be out there for another 2 days if you hadn't put some of those deviations out. But yeah, epic. Yeah.
50. I'm not pretty good at that. 54 hours and about 50 odd minutes. I'll get the exact time. I'll go back on there. But
That's a new record.
that is well and truly a new record by like 6 odd hours. So that's incredible, mate.
And,
Considering the amount of water.
Cheers to the Italian stallion for keeping the heat on.
He's coming. Yeah, good on him. Well done, man.
Cheers, buddy.
Well, we'll catch up with you for an interview a bit later.
Yep, sounds good.
Well done. There we go, folks. Your 2021 champion, massive course record, Shane Johnstone.
Oh my God, that's over. Thank you very much.
Ah, 350 Ks of it.
Now that's all coming out from the outside, don't worry about it.
There's so
They're
much,
the old school nicknames.
so much sand in there.
Turn it up. Here we go. Woo! Delirious style. Yeah. Woohoo!
No, we can't actually get